Hello there, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Super Cast Brothers. You know, it's that one Smash Bros. Podcast that you somehow have forgotten to not to fuck my words. I was gonna do a bit, but you know what? I'm just gonna save it till next time. Hi, yeah. So things are a little bit different this episode. It's still Super Cast Brothers. It's still me, Zantok, Lister. You know, whatever you want to call me. It's still him, Jonno, John, whatever you want to call him. But I got a bit different background this time around. I probably sound a little bit differently. I probably sound a bit quieter, and it's kind of out of my control. Sort of. Uh, Theoretically, we could have done something about this, but basically, the situation is right now I'm having to house slash dog sit for somebody because they have a baby, and I'm the person on call to make sure their dogs live. To put it that way. And well, the way the schedule lined up was that we had to do the recording now. We technically could have pushed it a couple days, but really can't push more than that. So we just figured, screw it. Let's just get this out of the way. It's going to be a bit of a offness with the episode because with audio issues. So basically, just all this to say, hey, things look a bit different this time, but we should hopefully be back to normal in the next episode. If not, then the one following for sure. But yeah, that's basically what I've got going on with me. How are things with you, Jono?
Ah, that was a mighty gulp. What a chug of the old agua. Hello, my friend. What a lovely background. It's
Thanks.
jelly bean blowing behind you and over your head.
Actually, Jellybean died last year.
Oh shit!
Yeah, she was really old.
It's the family dog.
One of them, yeah, she honestly we were kind of surprised that she made it as long as she did, and
Hmm.
then she just didn't wake up one morning. We were just like, "Yep, that sounds right."
Wow, that's kind of lucky.
Yep.
Not old. My experience, the dog doesn't always go that peacefully. So
Not
good.
always. My
No,
brother's
yeah.
dog had to be put down several years ago because they were just not in a good way. That it was
Hmm.
to the point where like they could walk into a corner and just stare at the wall,
Hmm.
unmoving. It's like, you okay? Not responding to anything. It's like, okay, that's not right.
No, no, it's not.
Yeah.
Um, rest, rest in peace to our canine friends. What a
Mm.
way to start an episode.
Yeah.
It's smash or dash.
Smash
Smash or
or dash. Your dog or my dog?
oh god.
I vote my dog.
I vote my dog, and we're in for the next
Ah,
tie. Three
shit.
ties in a row.
Fuck.
Episode per episode per episode.
It's just the season of ties.
Yep. Oh my gosh. Imagine if that happened again today.
It's possible. I wouldn't be surprised
Yeah.
because I think these characters, at least one of the matchups, is pretty much even split. I think.
Yeah, looking at both of them, I think there's an argument for all these characters. We'll just see where it goes.
Yep.
Um, Before we get to that, and thankfully we reminded ourselves ahead of time we should get into that tiebreaker and
Right.
is
Actually,
probably.
we should probably do the rate their chances. Should we do the rate their chances first, or should we reveal the tiebreaker first?
No, we can reveal the okay. Let's just reveal the tiebreaker then.
Let's reveal the tiebreaker.
Yep.
Because let's see,
Okay.
last episode, getting the recap here, we had a tie. I think it was just it was just between. No, we're both were tied,
We're
weren't
both.
they?
Yeah, we're both.
So we had a tie
Mm-hmm.
between Lynn from Fire Emblem Blazing Blade and Noah of Xenoblade Chronicles 3. And then we also had a tie between Bomberman of the Bomberman series and Lip of Penalty Pawn and Puzzle League. So, Jono,
Indeed. Indeed.
who came out on top? How were the votes?
Well, well, I have the results, gentlemen, I have them right here on this pad.
That's a switch.
Aha! Our winners. The winner of the first matchup in the
Yeah,
Smasher Dash tiebreaker
yeah.
is Noah from Xenoblade Chronicles 3.
Okay, okay.
And the second winner of the tiebreaker match is Lip from Panel de Pawn.
All right, so they'll be making to our tournament of champions later this season.
Indeed. One win for you and one win for me.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. How do you feel about these results? Are they surprising in any way?
Um, not really. If anything is a surprise, it might be Noah over Lynn, just because I know Fire Emblem in our circle community of influence that we have. Fire Emblem is a very big franchise, and Lynn is one of the most popular Fire Emblem characters. Period. Sword plus spell, I thought would have
Mhm.
put her unique enough, but it could be as simple as, hey, we got a lot of Fire Emblem. We only got two, arguably three Xenoblades, and Noah Noah's the brand new guy from the newest game, so it makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, and it was respectable. He beat her out by one vote, so it wasn't major. Bomberman is kind of a wash.
Oof.
Lip was the runaway favorite there. Bomberman only got a few votes.
I mean, I don't think Waterman is like super big in our community,
Hmm.
and it's not like a big standout third party franchise. Like it's more niche. I think I would say.
Yeah, it's the kind of character that feels natural for Smash. Given the idea of like, oh, this is a character you can call a legacy character. Been around way back when, any MSX era, and has persisted since.
Yep.
Um, so that was really, I mean, it's more than you would think in the first anyway. That would be all that he has going for. That would be the prime. Slip, I mean, naturally, there's character aesthetic is interesting. There's ready, and with all of the various very that discussion kind of be more.
I caught maybe 30% of that.
Yeah.
The rest of it was lost to the internet.
Hopefully, it's not one of those days.
No, I well, hopefully, I think we get the gist of what you were saying, though.
Mhm.
Bomberman, nothing negative to Bomberman, but I feel like he's a character that, as you mentioned, he would be like if he got smashed, you would be like, yeah, that fits. But at the same time, I don't think he would generate. I don't think he'd be like a super exciting choice. Nobody would be like, he has his fans. Obviously, nobody. There's not. I'm not. I don't want to say like nobody would be excited for him, but I think it would be a much smaller amount of excitement. I think the majority would be like, this makes sense. Similarly to Rayman, I feel like, and I think this is where I would really upset somebody, is I feel like Rayman would be like, yeah, he makes sense to be here, cool, as opposed to, oh my god, Rayman. Again, he would have his fans that would act that way, but I don't think that would be the wider gaming community would react in that way.
Right.
Whereas
Um,
Lip has the Nintendo home field advantage, a very cutesy character, not something that we see much. It's has a very different aesthetic to her. So yeah, it makes sense to me.
mhm, absolutely. Um, One day, what would generate excitement? A Pal World.
I have thoughts about Power World, but this is not the place where I want to get into those.
Yeah.
All I will say is that Whale Trail has been streaming the game a lot lately, and I have
Hmm.
watched his streams, but it's not because I want to see Power World. It's just because I'm supporting him,
Right.
and that's as
Right.
far as I need to go with that subject. It's not on
Indeed.
multiple levels. It is not the game for me. I do not care about survival crafting games in the slightest. And I think
Hmm.
that's all I need to discuss.
Okay. Well, that being said, there's your tiebreaker.
That's our tiebreaker. Yep, that's that. Cool, we got it. That means we can move on.
Yes.
Let's rate some chances.
Okay.
So, as always, we've got 5 characters here. Um, some of these characters, when I was looking before we started the episode, I was like, man, because with some episodes, we kind of have like a general theme for our rate their chances characters, and I was looking at these just like, why did we pick these 5 for this episode? I don't know. A few of them were just like, okay, I see what we were going for here. Then it's like, wait, hold on. But then there's this character. I'm confused. It's like, nope, I don't know. It's, but it's,
um.
these are our 5. That's all that matters.
Yes. We normally do it like, oh, you pick one. Is
Yeah,
it? Was this your? I think
I
this was
don't,
you.
I don't, I don't know if this is me or not. I feel like this wasn't me. I'd had to because we alternate episodes. No, I guess it must have been because I know, I know you picked the ones for the next episode. So this must have been me. I
Hmm.
must have just been like, oh, I think I know what I was mostly doing. I think for some of these, I was picking franchises that we haven't talked about a whole lot. But then
Hmm.
like the last character we're gonna be discussing today, that one he kind of breaks that cycle. But
Oh, we'll get to it.
yeah,
We'll
to be
get to
fair,
that one.
yeah, we will.
Yeah.
To be fair, this is only the 3rd season of Rate Their Chances, and there's still a lot of
Hmm.
characters that haven't been discussed. So
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
yeah. All right, let's get into it then.
Okay.
So our first character
Yes.
tonight for Rate Their Chances is going to be Veridi from Kid Icarus Uprising. Right now, Kid Icarus has Pit, Dark Pit, and Palutena representing it in Smash. And Kid Icarus Uprising released in 2012, I want to say. So we're 11 to 12 years later at this point. I think
Yep.
Veridi is a stand-up character from the game. I think the next Kid Icarus character is either going to be her or Medusa, but then it's a question of which one are you going to pick, and then two, are we adding another Kid Icarus character? And I think Veridi could bring out a lot of new fun and flavor to Smash, being a plant-themed goddess. Uh, with the exception of Ivysaur, plants really are not. Well, Piranha Plant. With the exception of Ivysaur and Piranha Plant, man, I wish I could forget them. Smash doesn't really touch on nature or plants very much. Fire is really the element that is actually fire and electricity are get the biggest nods in Smash of all the types of elements that you could have. So I think Veridi would bring something
Hmm.
new to it, which would be a point to add her in over Medusa, who would just be like, oh hey look, it's darkness. We already have several. I don't know if we have several. We already have a few darkness related characters, namely Ganondorf. But I don't know. I think the other big question in my mind is like, it's been a long time since Uprising. Has Verity lost her
Right.
chance?
That's a good question. That's a good question. And that's what we're here to assess,
Hmm.
analyze, and debate. Um, at this point, she may have. I mean, there's a world where Uprising is getting a remake on the Switch 2 or something down the line, and Marie's chances have been reinvigorated. At this point, I think still it's down to a major event for her within. Can you hear me?
Uh, in and out.
That is so bizarre. That is so strange. I haven't changed anything about my setup, so I don't know what
This has
has
been a
happened.
recurring problem, though.
Okay. Interesting. Well, all the same, I'll just move my mic a little closer. Okay. Yeah. I mean, there's a world where that something's happening with Kid Icarus and she becomes more relevant. This is not that world. And I kind of feel like if we get another Kid Icarus character at this point, it would be Medusa because she's more known on the overall. Even then, I wouldn't rank her chances high. Oh, if Kid Icarus got another. Um, I don't know. I kind of feel, on the onset that Veridi would not have very high chance at this point. What?
Oh, you stopped talking. I thought you cut out.
No,
I was just like,
no,
silence.
no.
Did he cut out again? And then I look up at the recording. It's like, oh no, no, he's not talking. Okay.
Right, right.
But yeah, I have to agree with you. Like, I think if we were discussing this a lot closer to Kid Icarus Uprising's release date, like say if this was, I know, oh, if we were pre Wii U or if we were pre Ultimate, I would rate Veridi higher than Medusa at that point. But where we are
Bubba.
now in reality, 12 years later, 11 to 12 years later, no sign of anything more from Kid Icarus. I lean towards Medusa being as the next Kid Icarus character. I don't think Veridi. I think
Yeah.
if Veridi were to get in, it would be because of the plant aspect. So if they can lean in hard on that, because sure, there's Ivysaur and Piranha Plant as mentioned, but they don't really do anything with plants. They just are themselves plants, especially Piranha Plant. But I mean, Ivysaur does have like Razor Leaf and Vine Whip, but that's pretty much it for Ivysaur. Whereas
Right.
Veridi could like create lashing vines or poison its flowers or create spikes of wood to jut out of the ground or something. I don't know. There's room that they could come up with unique stuff for her that we don't really have yet. But if I'm looking purely at her franchise and what's available there, I think Medusa kind of takes it now.
I agree. What does that mean in terms of percentages? What are you feeling there?
Uh, First of all, I don't think we're going to get another Kid Icarus character in the next game. I think the only way that that happens is if we do get either a new Kid Icarus game or a remake of Uprising, which I know that they were not necessarily rumors of, but there was speculation of uh, sometime last year, where people thought there were signs or hints of Uprising coming to Switch or just a remake in general, based on things Sakurai had said, and I think some reports of jobs being hired for at Bandai Namco. I think is where I saw it, talking about like a 3D action game or something along those lines. And if that's true, then I think we have good odds. But as of right now, we can't really confirm that. So I'm going to say it's pretty low, and I'm going to say single digits. I'm debating on where I want to lie.
Okay.
I'm going to say 6%.
Okay. I'm gonna say 8, and for no reason other than it's the first number that came to mind.
Fair enough. I was debating 5, 6, or 7, so that brings out to an easy 7%
There you go. At least it's a lucky number.
in some places.
And probably, perhaps in the world of Kid Icarus, it is.
I don't know. Anyways, our next kid for third chances tonight is going to be Gruntilda from Banjo-Kazooie, the primary antagonist of the series. And really, I think similarly, if we were to get a second Banjo-Kazooie character, it probably would be Gruntilda. I think the only other one in serious contention would be Mumbo Jumbo, and even then, I don't think it would be him. I think it's Grunty or Bust.
Hmm.
But are they gonna add Grunty?
What an inspired choice here. This is why I was questioning whether I was the one who came up with these character choices. Rate their chances this time, because Gruntilda is such a me thing to do. Like I chose her as a Microsoft for in that episode we did. And
Jesus
I
Christ,
was
you
like,
did.
why did I do that? But
There were definitely
it's
some
the
picks in that
character.
episode where I questioned, just like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah, yeah. The character's funny. And character, it's there. There's a lot that can happen there. There is. She's such a strange and entertaining character, and we also don't have a lot of magic really happening in Smash yet, especially not in, again, per her characterization. Um, she's kind of a traditional witch in some ways, but just turn the dial to 11 on the comedy, with her freaking cat with the ding pot and all this other shit, like her different machination. It would be funny. It would be entertaining.
She's a
It
comedic
would be
version of the
cool.
Wicked Witch of the West.
Yeah, yes, precisely. Yeah, I mean, but there's, I mean, Banjo's owned by Microsoft. If Banjo were owned by Rare and majority stock was in Nintendo's court, rather, uh, I would say her chances would be pretty high. Probably would have been high a long time ago. But we don't live in that world.
Nah, I mean, I could see the argument where if Nintendo did own the Banjo Kazooie IP, um,
Hmm.
that she could get in. Although I think if that also
Hmm.
happened, Banjo would have gotten in a lot sooner than he did.
Yeah, would have happened in Melee?
No, because he clearly didn't when
No,
Nintendo could have.
no, that's true. Would have happened in Brawl?
I'll agree to that one.
Yeah,
Or Smash
and
for its
Gruntilda.
worst.
Yeah, then Nintendo's nuts and bolts would have come out. They would have put Robot Gruntilda in.
Well, would that be better
Just
or
kidding.
worse than the Iron Checkpoint crate from Crash Bandicoot? Whatever the remake of the racing game was called.
Crash Team Racing. Um, it really depends on how you look at it.
Yeah, but yeah,
Imagine a playable Smash crate.
I would not like to do that. If I'm going to do that,
Yep.
I would imagine a playable sandbag,
Yes,
which there are mods for. It's terrifying.
I've played those mods back in the day
I'm
in Brawl.
sorry. I
Good
did.
times.
Someday we should talk about mods. I have played. I think it was Project M. I've actually played some of them. There might have been like one other one, like Brawl Miners or something. I've played. I just
Hmm.
like just to see like what all the hype was about, and I was like, yeah, okay, that was the thing. Back to
You
regular
could play
Brawl.
as Spider-Man in the Brawl mods.
I can play as Spider-Man in Marvel's Spider-Man 2 now on PS5.
Sure can, but you can't play as Gruntilda.
Nope,
Not yet. Modders, you know what to do.
man. Remake Diddy Kong Racing again, and have Gruntilda be a secret racer.
Don't threaten me with a good time. I mean,
They might have to threaten
let
me
that
at
happen.
Microsoft for it though.
There, yes, please do. Yeah, you could throw in you could throw in Grunty, you can throw in Mumbo, you can throw Bottles, of course.
I mean,
Everyone's other favorite character.
there was Banjo Pilot, but that game got. I'm pretty sure that game got canceled before it
Yeah,
released.
it was canned and turned into Diddy Kong Pilot,
Oh yeah,
which was
which
also canned
canned and
before
then
release.
turned into what wasn't that one turned into Diddy Kong Racing? Or was that separate?
No, it was separate. It was Pilot was after racing.
Gotcha. And then we did eventually get a Donkey Kong
There,
racing game with whatever the hell it's called.
yeah,
I
the
can't remember.
Barrel
Yeah,
Blast,
Barrel Blast. That's right.
which was horribly reviewed.
Well,
Um, I I feel there's still a hole in my heart where Donkey Kong Racing for
maybe someday. But as far as Grintilda being Smash, uh, no, I, no, it's not happening.
Uh-huh.
She
Uh-huh.
technically has a bigger chance than some characters, the Trapper, but I think it's pretty safe to say Grintilda will not get into Smash. If she wasn't third party, if Banjo Kazooie was owned by Nintendo, I think there'd be a shot. But as a
Hmm.
third party character, no. I think it is a
Yeah.
very rare third party franchise that would garner more than one character. Street Fighter, Final Fantasy, Mega Man, Sonic, Castlevania. I think all of them are options for that. I don't think Banjo
Hmm.
Kazooie is. I really do
Right.
not. I'm
Right. Yeah.
1% here.
Yeah. I'll say two.
I was debating if I wanted to say two.
Mm-hmm.
All right, moving on. Our next character we're going to be discussing here tonight is Springman from Arms.
Don't feel too bad, Grintilda.
Yeah, don't feel too bad. Now here's the advantage Springman has. Like we talked about Arms before a few times. The advantage of Springman is that he is actually a Nintendo character. He is the poster
Hmm.
character, or one of two, for his game. However, here's the big negative for Springman. There's been nothing new for Arms in a long time at this point. Been nothing. Min Min getting into Smash Ultimate was a shock in itself because the game had stopped receiving updates or any new content. And then I think the biggest nail in Springman's coffin is Min Min herself. Because while sure
Yeah.
we could get a second armed character in Smash, I'm not saying that. What I am saying is we have Min Min who has the unique dragon head gimmick.
Hmm.
I guess she doesn't really have anything else unique to that. Now I'm thinking about it because all her she just has like one arm that can't change and the other one can't be changed freely. I guess they could do the same thing with Springman, but Min Min just feels like such a more unique character than what Springman or what Ripping Girl are, and I feel like why would you add the base kit model character, Mr. Arms Springman, the generic one, when you have a more interesting character like Min Min, when you could add other characters that would have a more unique gimmick to them, like I forgot his name, Ninjara or Misango or Lola Pop. Why would you do Springman when you've already decided not to include the generic one? And you could argue, oh well, they added Min Min instead. And they didn't add Springman because he was an assist trophy in Ultimate. True, but then why not do Ribbon Girl if they wanted to get one of the face characters?
Yeah.
But instead we have Min Min,
Yeah.
and we know that she wasn't that the debate was between Min Min or Ninjara. That's where it was always going to be for Arms. Ribbon Girl wasn't in
Right.
discussion. Springman wasn't in discussion. Dr. Coyle wasn't in discussion.
Not today. Not that time.
Why does
I
Dr.
agree.
Coyle look like an evil Samus Aran? She looks like look at her equipment. It looks like she's wearing the upper part of the power suit or very suit, whichever one it
No,
is. She's got like the big Samus pauldrons.
mm-hmm.
I'm not wrong.
Jeez. No, you're
I might
not.
be out of line,
Um,
but I'm not wrong.
um, yeah, I mean, I agree wholeheartedly. There's not much more to discuss about Springman here. Yeah, it's again not happening.
Yeah.
We we already have something better. I would say it's if Smash is cutting characters next time around, it's already in contention. We're gonna get any.
Yeah. I mean,
So
if the next mesh
yeah.
does cut characters and Midman gets cut, then I think Springman has a chance. But at the same time,
Hmm.
why would you cut Midman and then add Springman? That's just ridiculous. Like, literally, why? Unless they
Rare.
release an Arms 2 and Midman's not in Arms 2, but Springman is, then it would make sense. But,
Yeah, I
eh,
find I find that deeply unlikely. So she's such a popular character.
yeah.
Um, but within arms. But yeah, from the Smash perspective, yeah, there's no there's no way. There
Yeah.
are too many hurdles. Is arms two happening? There's a big
If it is,
because
I think it'll be an early release game for the Switch 2.
hmm and I would hope that they learn the lesson from the first time and actually produce something good out of it because the makeup was there, the
Oh,
aesthetic is
yeah.
amazing. Yeah, it's just like do something with it.
It, it's
That's
like
not bad.
it's like a lot of games. You can see that the concept is here and they have good ideas, but there's something that's bungled down the line, or they either like don't go far enough in a direction, or they go too far in a different direction, or they just make a bunch of weird ass decisions. The one that always just makes me the most upset is why the hell are the mini games required to progress in the tournament campaign mode? Why do I need to be good at the basketball mode, which requires different gameplay than the normal mode? And if I fail the basketball, then I can't proceed. Yes, Smash adds mini games to its classic mode, but guess what? If I fail them, it's fine. I can keep going.
Right.
Arms,
Yeah.
it's get good at basketball. It's like I don't want to get good at basketball. I want to punch people.
Hmm. Yep. Yeah, it was a critical error and probably contributed to why it was not a success.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's
Um,
an interesting concept of game, and if they made a second one of it and they improved on areas, go for it.
yeah.
But as it stands,
Yeah.
I'm not with it.
No, me either. All that being said, I once again 2%.
I'm going 2% as well. I
Yeah.
think it's extremely low, but I think it's better than Grindilda.
Yeah. Makes me a little sad, but yes.
Yeah. Next up, we have a character that I think might be a little bit more interesting to discuss. Possibly a little polarizing within their games community. Viola
Hmm.
from Bayonetta
Yeah.
3.
Hmm. Hmm.
So Viola is plays similarly to Bayonetta and Bayonetta 3 with some key differences. I mean, she's got a big ass sword that she uses for her main attacks, and instead of having the I forget what it's called, like Bayonetta's whole time slowy thing. Which
Oh,
time?
what?
Which time?
Which? Yeah.
Instead of
Hmm.
what Viola has is a counter based system that she uses.
Hmm.
She's got like this big a teddy bear demon that she can summon out and have attack for her. So there's definitely a unique makeup there. I think most people tend to go before this game. Everybody's just like, "Oh, Jean is the obvious Bayonetta second rep because she can be an Echo fighter of Bayonetta." It's like that's still true. She can be an easy Echo fighter. Viola, I don't think really. I mean, they could make an Echo fighter out of her if they really wanted to, but I feel like it would be a detriment to the character and the series. But
Hmm.
I feel like she has supplanted Jean as the obvious second choice, especially because of how Bayonetta 3 ends.
Hmm.
It just makes sense to me that you would add Viola in next if you're going to add another Bayonetta character, and that is always the big question mark for me with these third party franchises. One, is this the character you add? And two, do you add another? In most cases,
Hmm.
I say no.
And in this case, I'm kind of veering no myself. I see the there was a huge marketing hype behind Bayonetta being included. I mean, she was the supposed most viable option for Smash 4 as the final
What
character.
I would give to see the ordered list of characters by how many votes they got worldwide. What I would give to see that list. My God,
Yeah, me too.
there's got to be some fun data to analyze there.
Absolutely. And I think given that Nintendo is publishing the series now, she's maintained. Like I'm not surprised that I would not be horribly surprised if she made it into a theoretical Smash with cuts. Um, especially if there was a Bayonetta 4 in development
Yeah,
to the Switch too. Which I guess is kind of all up in the air now since Kami left Platinum.
true.
So
And it sounds
we
like
will.
it wasn't a amicable split. It sounds like he was very unhappy. Not to speculate too much on that
Yeah,
because we don't have information, but it doesn't sound like it was peaceful.
yeah, yeah. Better not talk too much about it, or he might block us on X, formerly known as Twitter.
Yeah, he doesn't even know who we are, and we don't even have a Twitter account.
I was going to say also formerly known as a viable social media platform. Anyway, um, the character. I mean, I know nothing about the character. I know that she is polarizing within the Bayonetta community. Bayonetta 3 is polarizing within the Bayonetta story standpoint, but also from, I guess, a game structure and gameplay standpoint. well. So it's kind of all it's a mixed bag, 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Um, I don't think that necessarily puts a damper on it, especially if I mean Viola will naturally be in Bayonetta is one. That's just the way the story's progressed, and she will probably be the main character or main character a large portion of that game. So there's room there to think like, oh, she could make it in. Um, at this junction, with the information that we have, I kind of don't see it. I think she's far more likely than the characters we've discussed so far, but I don't think that that means she's very high up.
Yeah. Well, one thing I would disagree with is I don't necessarily think Viola is go. I'm not trying to think of how to say this. I don't think there's a guarantee that Viola will be the lead of a fourth Bayonetta game, or technically fifth, because we have a prequel with what was it, Strays in the Lost Beginnings or something like that, where it's follows Bayonetta as a
Mm-hmm.
child, which is a very interesting concept. Um, because like the
Yeah, I
way the
actually want
Bayonetta
to.
games kind of work, I would not be surprised if we do something non-linear for the next game, and we do with something in the past. And Bayonetta 3 also opened up the Bayonetta multiverse, but they also ended up killing most, if not every, Bayonetta in the multiverse, which is like, what the fuck? What the fuck?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
and there's theories that the Bayonetta in Bayonettas 1, 2, and 3 are all different Bayonettas. Like there's that too. So
Jesus.
it's hard to say. And Viola, the character we know of her, is the daughter of an alternate Bayonetta from one of these other worlds. So who the
Mm-hmm.
hell knows? All we really know for sure is how Bayonetta 3 ends, and that Viola basically ends up taking up the Bayonetta name. So it's like obviously this is
Mm-hmm.
where Camia and Platinum at the time planned for the series to go, but with Camia now out, and with the fan reception to Bayonetta 3, it's always possible that they will change course.
I will add too that one of the last things that Kamiya said about Bayonetta before he had left is something about the character of Bayonetta herself, and that we would see her again outside of just the past.
Oh yeah, I mean that's just a smart thing to say in general, even if it's not true, because you got to know that when you do something like what they did with Bayonetta 3, there is always a good chance for the fan base to revolt, and so
Yeah,
you got to have a backup plan. And even whether it's true or not, it's like you say the words that need to be said for marketing. Not that I think
yeah.
Camia necessarily gives a shit about
His
internet
Kamiya is not.
people.
Yeah, he's not necessarily a great marketer in general.
No. But at the same time, Camia himself is marketing, just not in the traditional sense.
Right, right, right. Um, that's true. And I don't really have the grounds to say this, having not played or experienced the game in any way. But I think generally speaking, I like that direction they went. It's like I wish that more games had. I will say that. Um, like Age of Calamity. Like what's the point of playing this?
The fact that, all right, here's one of our famous side tangents. The fact that they have Age of Calamity, which is marketed as being here's the prequel to Breath of the Wild. You get to see the calamity happen. It's like we're all just like, oh my god, we get to see Hyrule fall. Holy shit, that's cool. We get to play as Link and the champions fighting back against Ganon's Harpy and trying to defeat him, but knowing that they will inevitably fail. And then they pulled time travel shenanigans and had the champion descendants or the adjacent champions. I'm gonna call them the adjacent champions from Breath of the
Mm-hmm.
Wild. Time travel back to the past of the calamity for some fucking reason. How I don't even know how the fuck that all happened. Because as soon as I learned about this in the leaks, I lost interest in the game. And then they end up saving the day, and they defeat Ganon in the past. Like what the fuck? Why?
Yeah.
Like you
Mm-hmm.
just killed. You just killed what that game was supposed to be.
Yeah. Yeah. Could have been a side mode. Could have been a separate
Yes.
guidance story.
Yes,
Yeah.
they could have been like a good like it's like okay here's the main campaign, we saw what happens here, but then oh, what's this, you've unlocked another mode. That's
Hmm.
weird. Echoes of the future, what the fuck does that mean? Oh my god. Oh, and it's just like a whole AU scenario of like, what if? That would have been really
Yeah.
cool if that
Yeah.
was a side mode, but not as the main
Mhm.
campaign.
Yeah. Honestly, my favorite Warriors game that Nintendo's collaborated on is Hyrule Warriors by far because it's total nonsense, and that's where it works. They're not trying to do something profound. It's just here you go.
Which one exactly? Did you say the original Hyrule
Uh,
Wars, or did you say Fire Emblem?
Hyrule
Okay,
Warriors.
the original Hyrule. I
Yeah, no way, no. With the character selection and Fire Emblem Warriors, no.
Three Hopes though was a fun play. It's very disappointing when you realize that oh, this is just three more Three Houses routes.
Hmm.
Really?
Hmm.
But the gameplay was solid.
Yeah, precisely why Hyrule is still my favorite of all of them. But I will give you the gameplay is technically much more profound in Three Hopes.
Yeah, and I also like that with the original Hyrule Warriors, the character choices were fun. Like, yes, there's some that needed to be there, but then they also were not afraid to kind of go weird. Once they had like, okay, here's who we need. It's like, all right, now who do you want to add? Agatha. It's like,
Hmm. Yeah,
what? Never would have
the King,
Agatha would
King
have never
Death.
been on my radar. And they're just like,
Yeah.
all right. And then they
Yep.
had Marin, uh,
Hmm.
who I would say Tingle, but Tingle's really not a ridiculous choice on the same level as those two.
Marin, the King of Hyrule, the Great Fairy.
King of Hyrule, that's the other one. Oh my fucking god! It's
Uh-huh.
like this is the chaos energy the people making the Crash Bandicoot Racing remake had. It's like, oh, you guys don't like how we designed Rillaru to be in this game? Don't worry, we'll fix it. Introducing the next character, fixed Rillaru. That's his actual name. They did not
Yeah.
fix Rillaru. They added in a second Rillaru. It's like, you fucking chaos gremlins. On the one hand, I'm upset because that took away a slot that a different character could have had. But at the same level, man, I respect that. I respect
Hmm.
the hell out of
Hmm.
that.
It's like if Sakurai turns around and Smash 6. Oh, you hated Piranha Plant? Here's Deku Baba. You want another Zelda character?
Fuck me.
Anyway.
Why not Gibdo?
One day, the butterfly Gib does from Tears of the Kingdom. Terrifying. Okay, but
Anyways, Viola.
Viola.
Um,
Yes, I
all
actually
that,
forgot we were talking.
all of to say, I think Viola definitely has better chances than the previous three that we discussed. Um, I think while Bayonetta isn't a third person choice that I would personally choose to get a second rep, I think there is a chance, especially because of Nintendo's relationship with Platinum and Nintendo's relationship with Bayonetta. I think there's a possibility here of it happening.
Hmm.
Um, I do think it largely depends on what Platinum's plans are moving forward, and if Sakurai were to come calling and ask about Viola, and if Platinum said like, oh yeah, we're not using her again, Bayonetta 4 will not have her in it. It's going to be a solo Luca adventure or something. Then it'd be like, okay, it's not happening. But I think there's a chance, not a very big chance. We're going to go with I'm going to say 11%.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. I'll say for the sake of the possibility that we get her, I'll go slightly higher. 14.
14. All right, that's going to be a 12.5% off average.
There you go.
There we go, indeed. All right, next up, our final Rate the Chances character of the night, and the biggest one of all, Waluigi, baby. Let's fucking go.
My favorite podcast guest host.
I I don't know
He
why you
was
keep
here.
going on about this.
He was here at the start of this season, and
No,
what a
he
great job he
wasn't.
did.
No, he
Yeah, just
wasn't.
go back and watch the
I
episode.
don't need to watch to know that you're bullshitting me.
No, no, he was there.
I
He was there, and he was beautiful.
no.
Yes.
Moving
If there's
on.
one thing I can assure you of, it's that Waluigi is a beautiful person.
Sure.
Now let's talk about his chances.
Let's talk about his chances. First of all, uh, God, Waluigi in a way is very much the elephant in the room when it comes to the Smash fan base, because there are people that legitimately want Waluigi, like you and I. There are people that only want him to troll, or because he's a funny meme. There are people that legitimately do not want him, and then there are people who don't want him purely because they think because of the memers, and then there's the people that are just sick of him being talked about, and that's pretty much where everybody lands on Waluigi. There
Hmm.
is no other group. The neutral group is the people who are just sick of people talking about him.
Hmm.
And we've talked
Like
about
he,
him a fair bit. He's probably one of the characters that we talked about the most on the podcast. Although I think Byleth takes the number one slot and not for positive reasons.
right.
But Waluigi has a huge internet push for him. And we know that the Smash Ballot definitely had an effect on the Ultimate roster. It's been outright confirmed that the Belmonts, Ridley, and K. Rool, and I think also Banjo-Kazooie were all not necessarily added 100% because of the ballot, but they were put on Sakurai's radar because of the ballot. I think Crom. I think Crom also owes his inclusion due to the Smash ballot because he was considered for Smash 4 what was passed on, but then Sakurai saw like, oh, Crom's getting a lot of votes. All right,
Hmm.
I can make this work. I think that's true. I might be wrong, but I think I remember seeing that somewhere. But what Waluigi
Hmm.
is in a complicated place because of the internet fandom and like, okay, how much of this is real, how much of this is trolls. Uh, we don't really know Sakurai's view on him. People assume that Sakurai hates the character. We don't know that. But there's also the fact like, okay, if you look at the Mario franchise, we have a lot of Mario characters in Smash. Some people argue we
Hmm.
don't need more. I think that's silly. But I think the
Me
other
too.
question is who else is in that top contention slot? I think it's
Hmm.
Waluigi. I think it's some form of Toad. I think it's Paper Mario, and I or it's Egad or King Boo. I think those are where you would look at for the next Mario characters. Those are the only ones that
Hmm.
like jump out to me. And by some form of Toad, I mean either Toad himself or Captain Toad. Either
Right.
or. But I don't,
Hmm.
unless I'm missing somebody else, I don't see any other Mario character approaching those ones. And even then, among that group, I think there's definitely a hierarchy. Waluigi is definitely the most household name. Well, Toad is the most household name on a casual level. Waluigi is the most household name on a hardcore Mario fan level.
Right. Right. It is a point of contention. I mean, Sakurai is well aware. Nintendo's well aware that the character is very requested for Smash. But the contention there is how they interpret it.
Mm-hmm.
Do they see it as more of a legitimate choice, or do they see it as a meme pick? If they still, after this all of this time, pressed Waluigi's not playable because of a joke, then his chances are tanked,
Yeah.
near zero. But if there's a legitimacy to it, and understanding where they're coming from, because there is a lot of bullshit on the internet about Waluigi, and it's easy to, and I could see in his shoes where connected to the community that the fans are, and you're funnel BS coming to you media, and algorithmically getting first. It's I forgive him for that viewpoint, Okay, I get it. I mean, if you don't see that K. Rool and Ridley are very received choices, to be included in the, you're not going to see that with Waluigi.
Yeah.
Um,
I think that's a big point of it
yeah.
as well. To try to recap what you were trying to say, because
Mhm.
situations. Um, One of the things that Sakurai talked about is like, or like, I don't know if Sakurai talked about it, but it came out from somewhere that he didn't really think Ridley and King K. Rool were that popular. He had no idea. He was blindsided by seeing the results. Like, oh wow, people actually want these characters. I thought it was just the internet being the internet, which valid. The internet is oftentimes the internet. And I think
Mm.
Waluigi very much falls into that category. But I think after seeing the response from Ultimate, this is very much not necessarily do or die, but it definitely feels like Waluigi, this is your last chance. It depends on what format the next Smash game takes. If we're doing Everyone is Here too, if we're just cutting back a few and adding more, or if we're like doing sweeping cuts and completely shaking up the roster. With the way the fan reception was to him in Ultimate and his
Mhm.
not being in, it really feels like if he's not added into the next one, it was very much a hard, intentional choice.
Right.
It almost feels like a trap. Like no matter what
Mhm.
Sakurai does, it's going to be definitive in some way,
Right.
shape, or form.
Right. To debunk some past theories though, I think the crowd that says Waluigi's not going to end because he's a spin-off character, I think that argument's completely bunk.
Yeah,
Um, Smash itself is a spin-off. Next. I mean, come on. And Waluigi, I mean, he's profoundly a spin-off character. He has been in almost every Mario spin-off title. I wish he were in a main game, but he's been in almost every Mario spin-off title
what the
since his
fuck, Mario Kart
conception.
7? What the fuck?
Yeah, it's an outlier. Like people, the casual gamer, the family gamer, the child, the parent, they know who Waluigi is. There's the contingent of people who, in the casual crowd, like the character. They know nothing about all of this. He's just a character that gets a lot of room to show himself off and garner a legitimate fan base outside of the insular vocal minority of Smash fans who harass Sakurai about it.
Yeah,
So there may be some inner dialogue, not just from Sakurai, but maybe folks at Nintendo, like, oh, character Waluigi makes sense. He's appeared in fucking 100 games since 2000.
yeah.
you know. Mm-hmm.
It's like there was
Um.
definitely a
Yeah.
meeting between some group of people when they saw the fan response about him being in Sister again. There was definitely some meeting with Cell like, did you know this? He was this popular? No, I had no idea. I was like, should we do
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
about that? What can we do? It's like, I don't
Right.
know, something. It's like, yeah, good luck.
I could see Miyamoto having input there, uh Nintendo EAD development group. Like it's such a contention. This is like the stickiest Smash character situation ever, almost ever, if not. Like it's very very top of mind.
Yeah,
And discussing it here, his chances are very much like superior to the other four we've talked about. But it's like, where does that land?
yeah,
It's so hard to say. Because the heart wants you to lead it and say, yeah, of course he's making it in. And I'm like, that's not real.
yep,
But saying that his chances are near zero is also far from the truth.
yeah. He's a very difficult one to rate, just because the
Hmm.
circumstances around him are immense. Really,
Right,
they're
right.
polarizing.
Hmm.
Like if he got in, there would be wild cheers and then some disgruntlement. I don't think there'd be too much disgruntlement, honestly. I think it'd basically
Right.
just be the people that were sick of the Waluigi fans or that wanted a different Mario character. Beyond that, I don't think there would be too much negativity. But at the same time, the Waluigi clamor does get too negative whenever he's not
Hmm.
added. Like the
Right.
the way people were acting when he was really being assist to get an ultimate was obscene. People should not be acting that way. Like it's a
And these
fucking video
people, I
game.
mean,
Calm down.
it's the Smash community. Probably over half of them were adults and they were acting that way.
Yeah. I
Hmm.
mean, let's be real.
Embarrassing.
Adults,
Hmm.
just because you've reached a certain age, it does not mean you're mature. Respect your elders,
No.
and I'll respect
No.
people that actually have common sense.
Hmm. The yeah, the internet's already not a place for nuance. Don't make it any more shitty.
Yeah.
Um, and that goes for like everything. But to the Waluigi point as well. I feel like I've settled on a nice round number. Taking into consideration that he's not a given, but he's definitely highly discussed and has a legitimate.
At the very least,
Um,
he's going to be on the Mario shortlist because he
mhm,
borderline has to be. It's just going to be a matter of does Sakurai want to do that, and is there
mhm,
another Mario character that he thinks should be propelled first? Like I would understand. I don't think the internet would take it this way, but I could understand if he added in a character like Paper Mario, or if he added
yeah.
in King Boo.
Mhm.
I could understand if he made those choices first,
Well, yeah. If you're
but I
looking at it from a
think
sales standpoint for
yeah.
King Boo, yeah.
Well, that and also Luigi's Mansion would just be like a whole different subsection
Hmm.
of mainline
Yeah.
games. Not
And
mainline
and there's
Mario,
no
but
better
mainline
time for
Luigi.
right. And there's no better time for Paper Mario now that Thousand Year Door's coming out remade.
That assumes that the next Smash roster would be being worked on right now, though.
Right. There's a likelihood we just don't know.
Yeah, there is a chance,
Hmm.
but we'll just
He's
see.
actually listening to this show right now and deciding based on what we say here.
100%.
Okay.
uh,
I, I'm gonna land on
yeah.
and this feels a little high still, but screw it. 64%.
I was
Yep.
thinking 60.
There you
I
go.
thought 60 feels like a nice sweet spot of
Hmm.
uh this definitely feels like it has his best shot, but with the stickiness of the
Hmm.
character, it's I really didn't feel like I could go much higher. Like 70 felt like too much, but
Yeah.
60,
Yeah.
64, average 62. I think that works.
It's yeah, it's more than 50 for sure, like considerably more than 50, but not 100.
I would respect 50 because it's
Hmm.
how difficult it would be to really judge him.
Right.
But anything
Right.
below that, it's like, yeah, I don't know if I'd agree there. Maybe a
Hmm.
49.
Yeah.
All right, well,
Okay.
we've completed the rate their chances portion of the episode, so now it's time to move on to smash or dash. You know, just trying out a little announcement there.
Right,
I didn't want
right.
to be too loud because again, I am house sitting in an apartment and there are people above me, so I don't want to be like loud about it.
Yeah, right,
Otherwise, if
right.
I
And
was
there's
home, yeah, I would have done it. I so would have done
what
it.
a yeah, yeah. And plus Otis is back there sleeping.
I mean, they're all laying down, but none of them are named Otis, and none of them are. Oh god damn
Okay.
it! I looked at them and they saw me look at them. I'm moving on. Uh, our first Smash Dash matchup, we got two characters from the Earthbound or Mother series, as it's known in Japan,
Hmm.
because we decided, you know what, we've got Ness, we've got Lucas, they're both PSI users. What if we talked about characters that weren't PSI users? Let's talk about Jeff, and let's talk about Duster.
Hell yeah.
We what is there to say to start out with talking about these two characters? Jeff, I can tell you this: he's one of the four main characters in Earthbound, one of the four chosen heroes. But unlike all three of the others, he has no PSI ability whatsoever. Instead, he's an inventor. He's one of four inventor characters in the game. Uh, one of those being his father, and then there's Apple Kid and Orange Kid, which, yep, I mean at least one of them is useful. But Jeff, he's got multi-bottle rockets. He's got other things that I can't remember because I can't find a list of all his tools that I wanted to
Mhm.
find beforehand. A heavy bazooka defense shower, which I think that either lowers or raises the defense. I'm not sure. There's stuff, but
Right.
he's much more technology focused since he can't do anything PSI, and his main weapon is. I'm trying to remember what his main weapon. I know he has like the little laser gun, but I can't remember like what else he has. He has something else. I thought.
Hmm. I don't know. I'm not terribly familiar.
Guns apparently is what they label his primary weapons as.
Oh,
Okay, not like
for his
real,
standard.
not like
Oh,
standard guns. Yes, for his standard special uses a gun, but like techie guns. He's got like the hungry HP sucker, the neutralizer, the shield killer. He can look up opponents' attributes with the spy ability and steal items. Apparently, I don't remember that, but okay. But then
okay.
there's
Okay.
Duster. Duster, who was not an
Yes,
inventor, he's just a dude with random shit.
he's a thief and an ex band member
Aren't all
as well.
thieves ex-band members?
Yes. He was a bassist, which makes it even worse. Uh, yeah, and I think his primary weapon, if I recall, which is kind of funny.
We missed what his primary weapon was there.
What is going on this episode? Did I really have to kiss my mic the entire time?
I mean,
This is
it's
this
not
is like
just this episode.
this is obscene. Oh, this is the worst it's ever been, if it, or at least as far as you're recounting it is. um, yeah, his primary weapon. They're I just looked it up. They are wall staples. He
Giant
uses a
fucking
wall stapler thing.
staples.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty entertaining. Pretty entertaining. And for some reason he has a pendulum that can put people to sleep, smoke bombs that make people cry uncontrollably. The siren beetle, I guess that's some sort of counter thing that makes them dizzy. And he has a mask that scares people, as well as a tickle stick. So there's that.
He's also the one that uses the rope snake that Lucas has for his grabbing in
Oh,
Smash.
right. Right. If this were rate their chances, that might have rated his chances a little lower.
I'll
But
give it so.
okay. Yeah, that's I mean, yeah, you're right. I mean, there already are far more similarities between Ness and Lucas than there would be between
Yeah,
Lucas and Duster.
and because like they could
Um,
always give the rope snake to Duster, or like take it away from Lucas, or just if Duster doesn't have it, or just let them both use it in different ways. Who cares?
right. And apparently Duster also is responsible for putting together some sort of like Mr. Saturn technology thing with a bunch of flying birds inside of a they use to escape for some reason at some point.
Okay,
So there's that. The flying whatchamacallit it's called per the wiki here.
okay,
So these characters are very different from each other, but they also fill the same archetype within the party.
yes, and that's why they're up against each other here today.
Okay, very nice. Any opening thoughts?
I think on a level, both these characters are like very close to each other in terms of their viability for Smash. Both of them are the non PSI party members, Tunes and Lucas, who are already in. If we were discussing a character from the original Mother game with Ninten, I might rate them higher just because we don't have anybody
Mhm.
from that game yet. But we basically have Inventor versus Thief with low techy type stuff, generally speaking, versus random ass items. It's like, why do you have a staple this big? I don't know, man, but you use it.
Yeah, he does.
But
it is.
you mentioned a lot of the Duster's Thieves tools there, and I imagine you could probably also just like use anything else that is considered an item that can be used in battle in Mother 3, which I don't have much experience in what those different items are. Just
Sure.
like absolutely, he has the Thieves tools at his disposal, but who says he can't use something else like grabbing something at random here? Uh, Mystical stick? Is that something that? Nope, that's Lucas's
Yeah.
ultimate weapon. He cannot use the mystical stick. I have randomly chosen a poor choice.
A
Bug spray.
fake
How about
hat.
that? No, yeah,
There you
bug
go.
spray. The bug spray is an item. It deals a lot of damage to bugs, which I mean, I don't
Yes.
really know why you would include that, but theoretically he could. Similarly, um,
Could
Jeff.
wear an alligator hat, apparently.
That sounds like a piece of defensive equipment. Similarly,
But it's yeah.
Jeff has all of his inventions, but then he can also use other items from the game. One thing that's weird that he can use is protractors, which
Hmm.
I don't know what it's supposed to do.
Don't you like drive the like a heavy duty thing you can use at the farm or something and cut down grass, pick up, shovel some stuff?
No, that is a tractor.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like a Tonka thing.
It sounds like actually I'm reading this here. It looks like the protractor is actually something you use if you just want to waste your turn.
Oh, cool. Oh,
Thrilling.
that's a protractor. I remember that from math class. Sad,
Yes.
sad memories.
Did you actually not know what I was talking about? Because I couldn't tell if that was troll or not.
For a sec. I mean, I haven't seen.
Okay. There's also the ruler, which has the exact same usage. Uh, you just you just look at
Mhm.
it. It's like congratulations, you can now figure out the length of things, and it wastes your turn. It's like, oh,
Pretty useful.
okay.
Well,
I feel like
could be
that
a
would be a
taunt.
taunt. Yeah, it's an easy taunt. It's an easy
Hmm.
taunt. But the hungry
Yeah.
HP sucker,
Turbotaxer approved.
I think that has. I don't. The thing about Earthbound that makes Earthbound difficult is most of these items and things don't have a look. They're just
Yeah.
text. They have no design to them, so anything has to be like created from scratch of what they would look like. So it's
Hmm.
like, what is
Mother
hungry
3 is
HP
better.
sucker? What does that put
Yeah.
in your mind? What kind of picture is that? I don't know.
Right.
A fucking funnel, a funnel gun.
Right. That's interesting to think about. Mother 3 is better where they do have pictures for most of the items, but it's still not they're super tiny. It's not like incredible
Yeah.
detail.
The only thing I know
Yeah.
for sure that will be part of Jeff's kit is he's gonna have the multi bottle rocket and the big bottle rocket. That's all I would really
Mhm.
know for sure. You could fashion himself to have a bottle rocket jetpack as his up special. That would make a lot of sense.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be neat.
But
That
it's
would
hard
be
to
neat.
say what else.
Yeah. I think a gun that could change like the type of beam that you use, like you mentioned, an speed draining thing or something like that. Maybe a gun that implement shoots. Interesting.
Give him the yogurt dispenser and make it look like a gun. So it just fires out globs of what is it? Tuna flavored yogurt because that's the only kind it's
Oh
able
my
to fire.
god.
So
Oh
globs of
my
tuna
god.
flavored yogurt, and that's his neutral special.
That is so like disgusting to think about. Like
You're
fuck.
welcome.
Not to mention like the look of that is not pleasant.
No, it sounds disgusting. Like
Yes,
again,
it
this is
does.
an item that does not have a look to its design. It's just text.
Mhm.
But
Right.
man,
Right.
mm,
Maybe if it shot out an entire tuna instead, like a whole live fish. But no, it's spurts of yogurt.
yeah, like with like you just see like a tuna head just like sticking out of it. Ugh. Oh God, I'm gonna be sick. I love this discussion, but I hate this discussion. Jesus Christ.
That is so nasty.
I'm also taking mental notes because I have made a move set for
Mhm.
Paula, and I
Mm-hmm.
plan to make a moveset for Jeff and Pooh to complete the whole Earthbound quartet someday. It's
Nice.
like,
Can't
am
forget Apple Kid and Orange Kid.
fuck that. It's like, am I gonna put the yogurt dispenser as his actual attack on Smashtopia? I might. I fucking
At
might.
this point, it's almost
Jesus
like you
Christ.
have to.
I,
Um,
I, I feel like I'm backing myself into a corner, yeah.
you kind of are.
Oh my
Um,
god.
Jeff is a brilliant inventor in many ways. Yes. Oh my God. Um, Duster a little less so. He kind of flies by the seat of his pants and gets himself out of sticky situations by kind of dumb luck and having these weird utility things, like very much just very like
Yeah.
there's a the method to his character is chaos. He's like in that regard. It's like where you can take a wall if you really want.
Isn't he
Um,
also an amnesiac, or is that another character?
I think so. I believe so. Let me try and see if that's on mother the wiki bound that I'm looking at right here. Amnesia. Yes. Yes, he is an amnesia. Just like Ring a Bell, our favorite character from Bravely Default. Um all all said, um
Team
and we
Ideology.
kind of did he kind of we kind of did the run over of his character already. Strange inventions, just of a different kind than Jeff's, with giant staples and a live snake that is a rope,
And a tickle stick.
and a tickle stick, and a beetle that acts like a siren. So I can imagine the siren beetle could be like a down special similar to the super horn from maybe. It could be something.
Wait, why?
Um,
What do you mean the super horn is a down special?
no, the siren beetle could be similar to that, like in
Oh,
terms
how it
of
would
how it.
work. Okay.
Right. And then it makes people dizzy, kind of like Mewtwo's down special.
Yeah.
So there's that. Someone like where's abouts on another Smash wiki that I'm looking at here too, while kind of like to help think of what a moveset could even look like. They mention, oh, his old band ECMC, that could be involved somewhere too. Make him fight with his bass, or have it be the final Smash, because what the hell else is it gonna be? Something,
Giant wall
something. So
staple gun.
he's
You know how
there.
they
You
give
go.
staple guns, but here's a wall staple gun.
Yeah, he's all over the damn place. And so yeah, he's oh, here's something I never realized.
Hmm.
I'm looking at Wikibound here. The main party doesn't actually include Flint. It's Boney who's the final
Yeah.
character.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
Try.
Um,
It's. I
yeah,
don't understand it. Someday I'll
yeah.
play Mother 3. I've only played original Earthbound, and that was what 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Has it really been that long already? Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh.
Because yeah,
I remember
actually,
the commentary. Like,
it would have been
yeah.
2020, 2021, somewhere around there. Now that I think about it.
Hmm. Gosh. All that being said, it's fairly even matchup actually.
Yeah.
I see the merit. I see the merit in both. I think
It's the same
you would
archetype
lean.
in terms
Yeah.
inside of Earthbound. It's like, all right, which flavor do you want?
Yeah. I think you would lean Jeff if you want something a little more concise. Duster's kind of more sporadic. So it's just like, what do you want? As you said. And shall we ask, what do you want?
Honestly, I can be convinced either way between these two because again, like these are
Mhm.
more the same things. But I have a
Me too.
lean. And my
Hmm.
lean isn't necessarily because of anything that I specifically want. That's not why I have my
Right.
lean. My lean
Right.
is, I guess I'll say it. My lean is Duster, and I'm saying
Okay.
Duster because I don't think there's any other character, at least that I can think of, that would encroach on Duster's territory in terms of who he is, what he uses, how he fights. Whereas Jeff, he's an inventor.
Yeah.
there are several inventor options that you could feasibly go with. EGAD
Egad.
being
Yep.
one of the bigger ones. And so I feel like in that respect, Duster, but both would be unique. But I feel like Duster has less competition, and he
Mm-hmm.
would have like less. I don't even know how. I don't even really know how to describe it, but I think you understand what I'm trying to say. He's
Yeah.
he stands out more.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Part of me felt like you might be leaning Jeff for more of the concise potential, and you mentioned you want to make a Jeff move set
I mean, I do like
prior to
the
making
idea
the
of
yeah.
an inventor character in Smash. I would love to see
Mhm.
an inventor in, or see in some kind of like an engineer type character. But
Right.
I
Right.
and it's a very close lean. Like I could, like I said,
Yeah.
I could go either way. But I think Duster edges it for me.
Duster sure edges it. And I actually, I don't know if there's going to be any argument for Jeff here because I agree. Duster is my lean. Um, and we're kind of in lockstep here. So perhaps Duster's moving on, and it's for the same reasons that not a whole lot more to add. Tuna yogurt shit made me a little. I mean, Jeff may have lost me there. Uh,
Aw, man.
no, but yeah, but Duster, I think he's the more like Jeff is very he's a cool character, but
He's
he's very
definitely the more
prototypical.
well known uh,
Yeah,
by
yeah,
fans because Earthbound released
right,
in outside of Japan and Mother 3 didn't.
right. He's more well known and so on, but Duster feels less of an archetype. He's so
He's
odd,
less
and
defined.
I yeah yeah he is. I and that's where my vote lies. A more fun in my mind.
Yeah.
Hmm. Cool. So that wasn't a tiebreaker.
Nope.
Our fans are disappointed. They
Well,
wanted to vote again.
too bad. So sad.
Yeah.
Big rip-a-doo. So, that is Duster succeeding over Jeff. He will move on to the Tournament of Champions at the end of the year. But we got one more matchup to discuss here. And this one I think is going to be a little bit more to discussion. We once again have
Hmm.
two characters from the same franchise. It's two characters from the WarioWare side of things. It's Mona versus 9 Volt.
Oh,
So we
nice.
have, both these characters. They help out Wario. They make games for WarioWare Incorporated. Mona is kind of like the every girl in WarioWare.
Mhm.
She's had a different job in most, if not every single WarioWare game, having a wide variety, which gives her a wider variety of aspects to choose from to represent her. She's she rides on a moped. She's got cheerleader skills. She's been a pizza delivery girl. Um, she's been a detective of some form, I think. She's had a variety of, or a safari explorer. Actually, it looks like having explored a nature temple. Um, she's pulled a lot of jobs.
Hmm.
Apparently she has a boomerang and get together, which okay, sure, why not? But Mona is the girl that can do everything in WarioWare.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, her opponent is 9 Volt, who is a child. He is an elementary school student, and maybe we shouldn't be beating up children in fighting games, but I also advocate for the Baby Mario Bros, so I don't give a shit.
Ness and Lucas are already there.
That's true.
Yeah.
How old are they? I thought they were
I'm pretty sure.
teens.
Are they? Well, from the design, you would never know. Like it's just,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah. I had assumed they were like 10.
I mean, Pokemon Trainer is 10. I
That's weird.
oh no no no
Yeah.
no no no.
No, he's 13.
Lucas
Ness is
is
13.
Lucas is 17 supposedly after the time skip, but that was the plan for the N64 version. We don't have confirmation on the GBA version of the game.
Hmm.
Okay, I know what grade 13 would be. That would be that's 8th grade. 8th grade, ninth grade. I don't know what
Yeah.
grade 10 is. I'd have to work it back on the math, which
Be
actually
fifth grade.
5th. Yeah. Oh
Hmm.
man. The protagonist of Mega Man Battle Network is 10 years old. Oh, Jesus. He's a fifth, sixth grader saving the world from cyber threats. Oh
Hmm.
my god, the adults in video games. Ah. But basically, to go back to it, 9 Volt again. He is a he's an elementary school student, but Ian he has a big love for Nintendo, especially retro, NES, and older. Especially, he might be into SNES and 64 at this point in the timeline. I'm not sure because those systems are now very old. But
Yep.
I don't really know what the cutoff is in WarioWare if they've let him do in 64 things as far as like Move It is concerned or what games they let him pull from now. But he's very centered in that theme, whereas Mona has like a different theme each game, allowing them to show off with her. Nineville always sticks to I'm a gamer, give me that retro Nintendo good shit.
Right. For sure. Um. Yeah, and how would that? I'm very interested, and I know Ninevolt is a character you've personally championed for. No secret there. Um. I'm very interested in seeing where that moveset would realize. I can't remember. You made a moveset for my Ninevolt already.
Oh yeah, years ago, like
That's what I thought.
2017, 2019, long time ago.
Hmm. So Mona, I mean, she has a number of different jobs she can pull from. The cheerleader, pizza person, delivery girl, I guess. Like pop diva. There's a number of different. She's a very like layman character in Stream Center. There's a lot of funny, glamorous stuff happening. But she would be kind of a grounded character in terms of her comparing her to other members of the world. Her moped would be a given. I think pizza from there, I don't really know. Like, can do a number of things. She has animal friends.
I think another special could
Um,
easily be her tossing the baton up and then jumping up to catch it.
that's true. Either that or a pizza parachute. Anyway, so 9 volt. I mean, looking back here, I like what you've got going on here. I'm and using anything from the Cube controller and the Wii Zapper makes an appearance.
Yeah,
Even a Rumble, the Rumble Pack is an up special. The vibration and the jet, that's pretty. That's actually pretty. The Virtual Boy's there too.
yeah. I
Yeah,
think
Virtual Boy's there too.
I
Yeah.
think Wii Zapper realistically would just be like the NES Zapper. I don't know why I
Hmm.
went with the Wii Zapper for this when I made this moveset. I mean, this was
Hmm.
before Ultimate, not before Smash 4. But so it was closer to the Wii time. And I
Hmm.
think the Wii Zapper was like a more interesting design to it. You can
Right.
kind of like, typical rifle holding, whereas NES Zapper is just like a pistol.
Yeah.
But I mean, either way, that could function the same way. Controller lasso, I'm personally a fan of swinging an NES, SNES game, and store GameCube controller like a lasso, just like trying to pull a character back. I think it's fun. A Rumble Pack, Jetpack. Uh,
Hmm.
oh man, my down special was Virtual Boy, which could summon up
That was.
characters from the Virtual Boy to do an attack.
Donkey Kong Jr.
Yep,
Oh my God. Okay, I know who I'm voting for.
from Mario's Tennis.
Mario's Tennis.
And like
Yes,
the extra
everybody's
skill, he pulls
favorite.
out the Game Boy camera, and he takes a
Hmm.
picture, which can
Yeah.
stun opponents. And his final
Hmm.
smash was NES Remix, where he at this point now he pulls out the NES Zapper and he fires it. If it
Hmm.
hits something, they go into a cinematic where they get attacked from a variety of characters that appeared in NES games using their NES design. So it's like you'd see Donkey
Yeah.
Kong, Excite Biker, Duck Hunt Dog, Ice Hockey Player, Pit, Link, Mario Samus, Mike Jones, Urban Champion, The Wild Gunman, and Starman. Uh, and even Simon Belmont, Mega Man, Solid Snake, and Pac Man are all like, why do I not have a Little Mac on here? That feels like an omission. I should edit this to include Little Mac. What the hell? If I'm allowing Donkey Kong to be on here and Mega Man, what the fuck, man?
hmm
But
hmm
it's just like all these characters will just come in, and it's named NES Remix off of the DS, the 3DS games. Where it's like, yeah, NES Remix, sure, why not? Like that makes sense for a name for it.
I loved it. I loved NES Remix, and that's like, I mean, now that so many things have either gotten a sequel or been ported to the Switch from the Wii U era, it's like that's kind of the standout now. NES Remix 3, where?
I mean, there
When?
there is an NES Remix 3. It's just not called NES Remix 3.
Is there?
Pretty sure, isn't
Shit,
it
I
like
thought
Ultra
there
Remix
was
or some
more too.
shit?
Thought there was only okay. Oh, NES Remix 4 then.
I'm looking it up now.
Yeah. But
Ah,
yeah,
Ultimate NES
yeah,
Remix. Yeah, it was released for the 3DS.
okay. What a way to go. Is that like a combination of all the previous minigames though, and not
No, but
technically?
there was one like that with the NES Remix pack, which packaged in Remix 1 and 2 together.
Okay. Ultimate NES Remix. The first in the series to not be on the Wii U, a compilation of 16 games from the previous remixes. What the hell is going on? Anyway, all that said, I like the fun. Um, and I like the idea of Nine Volt as a character in WarioWare Smash. He would in Smash rather. He's super meta. Super meta. You like playing as characters that represent the hardware, Mr. Game and Watch, Rob, Duck Hunt. You like playing as retro characters, Ice Climb, etc. How about something that kind of mashes all that?
Yeah, he
It's quite the catch-all.
he's a way to pay homage to the retro Nintendo without having to add a retro
Mhm.
Nintendo character.
It's a choice, and if Nintendo were to say, I mean, not that they ever will or ever should, there's one more chance to include something from this far back in time. You can veer and say, oh, 9 volt rubber. So I love the idea of this. Um, I also, from a world of I guess more realistic expectations, I also love the idea of
I
a
think
very
Mona
viable option.
I think Mona would
Hmm
be a more grounded character. I mean, you could go either way with Mona. You could make her a grounded character that focuses on pulling from her different jobs, or you could make her the like what we did with Marshall a couple seasons ago, where we made his moves work off of the different mini games and taking inspiration
Right,
from there. I think that is
right.
one option you could do with Mona, just have her pull from the mini games. But I feel like it's harder to do that with WarioWare than it is to do it with Rhythm Heaven. The Rhythm Heaven mini games I don't want to say the
Yeah,
word grounded for those because there are some that are fucking weird, but they make a lot more sense generally speaking than I think a lot of the WarioWare micro games because there's
yeah.
some weird shit, and I don't know how you would make a move set out of a lot of those. It's like
Right.
what?
Plus, there's a prerogative with a rhythm heaven character. You almost have to
Yeah,
like, um, and they're all rhythm based. You just that's where it wasn't easy to make the martial move set,
no,
but
it wasn't.
no, there's a very precise there was a procedure to it. It's like, okay, the different rhythm signatures like 1 2 3, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4 5. It's how you differentiate between certain moves, and um which we got through it and made it happen. I tend to agree that, I mean, you could make a game based Mona moveset based off of some of her signature mini games, but micro games rather. But I think this is the way, educated guess. I think this is the way Sakurai would handle it, and it's the way I would handle it, and probably it's the more grounded approach.
Yeah,
hmm The different jobs, the animal friends, the whatever, anything that pulls from like her little story bits that you learn more about who she is as a person. Um, maybe not bringing back the crush on Wario, but everything else, great. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I don't
hmm
know.
She has a
I don't
little
know.
chimpanzee baby as a friend. Throw it around on people's faces.
WarioWare is an interesting series, and I'm glad that they've they started letting it out of the box again twice on the Switch, which
Hmm.
is a big surprise.
Right.
Because there for a while after Smooth Moves, really, they kind of just like threw it in the bin and didn't look back. It's like, what the fuck, man?
I know, and it's not like we got land in return. It was just nothing.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I Yahtzee. Um, I don't remember exactly which game review it was in, but at one point, I think it might have been the Sticker Star review. He was just like going on a rant about how Nintendo needs to let things out of the box so that they can have fun again. It's like, let WarioWare out of the box, let them have fun. It's like, yes,
Yeah.
I did not know you
Oh
were
my
a fan of
gosh.
WarioWare, but thank you, Yahtzee.
Yeah, absolutely. WarioWare Move It. That is something I still need to pick up. Thanks for the reminder.
Yeah,
Because I
I
definitely want
want
to.
to play it this year. I just need to wait
Hmm.
for the poll to see what will come out of that first. Because I don't want to start any big new game until I run that for myself again.
Might be Hamtaro Ham Hams Unite, the way
It
things are going.
it could be. It could be.
They seem like actual good games. Like beyond the meme, it actually should be an okay thing to play through once.
Wait, WarioWare
Uh,
Move It or Hamtaro?
both,
Oh,
both.
I mean,
But him,
I would probably
yeah,
care more about the Hamtaro game if I had ever watched Hamtaro, but I never
I
did,
barely
so
did.
I don't
Yeah,
care. I'm sorry, Ebit. I never watched
yeah.
it. I'm not hating on it. I'm just saying I never watched it, and I have no connection.
The gameplay seems interesting from that perspective. I'll give it that. Um, that being said, Hamtaro, you're not on the docket today.
Nope.
9 Volt and Mona are.
Yep.
What are we thinking?
Man, again, there's
It's
value with both
hard.
of these.
It's
Yeah,
actually hard.
we have a
Yeah,
good match here. Like I know that I have a lane. I have a bias here. There's no denying that. But
yeah.
I would honestly be happy with either of these characters. I would not say that I would be happy with any WarioWare character because there are some that be like, really, Master
Hmm.
Mantis? That's who we're adding? What?
Even Young
What
Cricket would be
the
stretching it
fuck?
a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'd put Young Cricket like half a step above Master Mantis, but then I feel like the top picks are Ashley, Mona, 9 Volt, and then man, I used to have Cat and Anna in that group, but not anymore. And like I think Cat and Anna could have a shot. Jimmy T. I would not say Dr. Craig or Penny. Did I already say Ashley?
But they're
God knows I did.
inventors.
I don't.
You want an inventor.
Yeah, I look at them and I'm just like, yeah, not you though. I also put
Mike.
Mike in the no category. Orbulon, despite the fact that we made a Musa for him, Orbulon would not be a top pick for me.
Hmm.
Maybe after Mona, Ashley, 9 Volt, then Orbulon can get in. But
Yeah.
Pioro, add Pioro.
That's funny because I was gonna say the little yellow guy, but I
Frank,
yeah, that guy.
add Wario
Kronk.
Man as a separate character. Hey, you like the Wario Man transformation Final Smash and Brawl and Smash 4? Guess what?
There you go. Here he is, alongside Pikachu Libre.
Alright, now we've gone too far.
I wonder what Kronk's home stage would be. Cusco Topia.
Who'd you. Oh, why Kronk? What?
The yellow guy from
Frank.
WarioWare.
Fronk.
Frank.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
that's right.
No, I'll tell you what Frank's home stage would be. Do you remember? I think
Hmm.
it was in Twisted. One of the boss levels is shooting Wario's nose. That's
Yes.
Frank's home stage.
Okay, perfect.
Yep.
Pyoro, that would be fun. That would be an assist trophy. I rather that would work.
Oh, you mean the Piora history that I made last year?
Yeah. Yes. Also, I remember playing a lot of that DS Pyoro game.
DSiWare, I
What?
believe.
Yeah, that was fun. It wasn't worth the DSi for, but it was fun. It was like the one where you flick his tongue at the like
Yeah,
falling
and that was
beans
just
or
an
something.
extended version of his mini game from one of the WarioWare games.
Right, and Paper Airplane as well. I think that was the most I ever got out of DSi. It was
Yeah.
not worth trading in the DS Lite on.
No, I didn't get one. I saw it
No.
was like the end of the DS life cycle was really weird because they
Hmm.
announced uh the DSi, and then like a week later the DSi XL got released or got announced. It's like,
Yeah,
what the fuck?
yeah, yeah,
What is this marketing? And then a couple months after that, less than half a year, I want to say, they announced the 3DS. Like, what is going
yeah.
on
It's like,
here?
what the hell? What's the point? Yeah,
Like
yeah. They invalidated their own system. It's like what?
twice.
That I mean, it's like every of a handheld life cycle. I can only validate this for the DS. Ends in some sort of bad move. Game Boy Micro,
Oh my god.
horrible.
I have
Couldn't
seen
even
the
fit a full
suggestion.
cartridge in.
I have seen the suggestion with the micro was that they didn't know the DS was going to be a success, so they had the micro prepped and ready to go just in
Hmm.
case.
Hmm.
And then they released it just to see how it was doing because they already had it made. They might as well, I guess. But
Then it flopped.
God,
Then
yeah,
it flopped. I remember how hard their face plates. Like I remember some guy at GameStop telling me when I was like 10, like, "Oh, you need the Thunder faceplate with the Game Micro." And even back then, I was like, "I don't need shit." I got suckered into the DSi though. It's whatever. It's something to move on from. But the DS Lite
to
was a great
move
machine,
it
and
on from.
absolutely. I mean, it makes you wonder what the Switch is going to go for. They're going to go Switch to a probable uh, Switch
It's
2 of some
Switch
sort
U. It's a Switch U.
to yeah, Switch. Yeah. I was going to say like, oh, a Switch that's the size of a smartphone, but somehow Switch U is even worse. Yeah.
Fuck that.
I love
For
how you
from
have
what I
you
have,
have an iPhone for work and you hate it. It's
this is
pretty great.
this is not an iPhone.
Oh, what is that, an Android?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
As
That's not
if I
okay.
would take an iPhone with me anywhere except for work related reasons.
Right.
Fuck that
Right.
piece of shit.
Yeah.
But from what I have
iPhones the
seen,
most.
assuming any rumors are true, the Switch successor is supposed to be a bigger screen. So
Yeah, apparently OLED or
LCD.
4K. I'll believe that when I see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I can't really. When people say like, "Oh yeah, it's gonna be this many," it's gonna be a screen that's this big. It's like I can't. Those numbers don't mean
Mhm.
anything to my brain.
Mhm.
Can you please? Can you please do a drawing of the Switch with the new dimensions so I
Right.
can tell and be like, "Oh, okay." Now I can. I can't imagine numbers. If
Right.
you tell me, "Oh
Right.
yeah, I got a 54-inch TV," I don't know how big that is.
Hmm.
I
How
don't
often do
know.
you play handheld on your Switch?
Fucking never.
Me either. I don't really care how big it's gonna
Which is
be.
also why when people go about when one of them was talking about the tangents, one of them was talking about how like, oh yeah, they're not going to do OLED for the Switch too. It's going to be an LCD screen again. It's like I don't give a shit. Like people are just like, oh man, this is such a step back. Blah, blah, blah. Just like, you guys play in handheld? I
Yeah,
don't.
right. Apparently, per surveys anyway, which is just a smattering of the audience, but apparently, like 80% of Switch play hybrid. They play handheld a lot.
I
I'm
mean,
like, I can't relate.
I understand hybrid because you can take the Switch with you anywhere you want, and that would qualify as hybrid if you play it handheld when you leave the house or docked when you're at home. But I definitely could not do handheld all the time. No way. I mean, for one
Hmm.
thing, I can't play handheld and stream or record with it. It
Yeah.
doesn't work.
Well, and playing Smash handheld is like improbable for me because you like a dockless, a GameCube controller, not one I want to think about.
Yeah. I
Hmm.
tried handheld Splatoon 2 when it came out. It's
Oh
like, this is
God.
awful.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Actually, for some reason, I don't. But yeah, it was Whiplash.
Mm hmm.
Works fine with some games. I love the novelty of having older games on a handheld. Like it was a long time dream when the Virtual Console was a reality. I was like, oh, I wish I could play Mario 64, on the go, and DS doesn't kind of care. Here's a better example. I wish I could play that's kind of a novel, but otherwise,
You wish you could play what?
Banjo-Kazooie
That's what I thought you were trying to say. I heard
on the
I wish I could
go.
play and I was like, he probably meant Banjo Kazooie. But Banjo Kazooie is
That's
on the
weird.
Switch now, so you can.
Yeah, yeah,
It's on
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's
NSO, but it's the
hmm
N64 version of the game and not the
hmm
Xbox version, where they made a few quality of life improvements. So
yeah. Rare rare replay is rare replay for Switch 2 launch. There you
good
go.
luck.
Let's do that. Let's do that. Oh, they're such friends now. Let's make it
I mean,
happen.
there's rumors that Microsoft is going to go multi-plat with some of their exclusive games. So
hmm
there's talk about
Oh,
Sea of Thieves coming to Sony.
interesting. Sony would never repay the favor.
Oh, of course
Um,
not.
but rather with crossplay, whatever. Nintendo. Um, what about these two characters?
These two
What are we voting?
characters, both are extremely valid,
Yes.
and I think my vote. See, I know which character I lean towards, but I question myself, going like, am I leaning towards this character for the right reasons? That's the sticky question because my lean
Right.
is 9 volt because I like the idea of him being able to be a retro representative. Not that he is a retro character, but like being able to use like represent Nintendo in a different way. Like he has the Wii Zapper or
Right.
the NES Zapper or like these different peripherals that he can kind of like do whatever he wants with. The something that no other character that's a possibility for Smash could do.
Right.
But is that the right reason to pick a character? I don't know. But this is also
Yeah,
Smasher Dash, and it doesn't matter what our criteria is.
that's what I was gonna say. I think when we on the onset of developing this episode archetype, we made it a point to say it's not too technical most of the time.
Yeah.
We're choosing the character because we want the character
Yep.
more than the other.
And
Period.
we, if with any
So
criteria we want, if we wanted to do, hey, I picked 9 volt because he wears red and I like red, I can do that. I would judge
but
somebody
Mono
that
wears
voted
red
for that
too.
reason,
Yeah.
but I could do that. Okay, well,
Yeah.
he has a yellow helmet. How about that?
Yeah. There you go. There you go. Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
But
I like skateboards more than mopeds. Fuck a
that's
Vespa.
right. He
Yeah.
can skateboard. I forgot about that. Not that I think you or I would ever get that shallow, but
No.
there are no rules with selecting a candidate in Smash or Dash. It's literally
hmm
who you would rather have, or in some cases, if you had to have it, which we haven't had too many matchups like that. I would love to do some matchups where it's like we legit don't want these characters, but we had to pick
Yeah.
something. That'd be fun
We've
to
hit
do.
it somewhere. Like, hey, if you had to have Dog or Rabbid Mario, who would you pick?
Ryan Dog.
I, I will always shit on that episode. What were we thinking?
I
Anyway,
mean, hey, Multiverse is supposed to be coming back sometime in the next few months, so it's going to become topical again.
LeBron versus Rabbid Peach. All the same. Yeah, I look forward to it. I enjoyed Multiverse. I liked it. Nicktoons All Star thing because it was actually playable.
The fact that they cut Helga
Um,
and added in Gerald and Grandma, but have not added Arnold. What the fuck? What the fuck?
Grandma really throws you for a loop. Like what the fuck?
I
I mean, I
mean,
get that she's like a martial artist in the show, but what?
she's kind of like Mona. She has a fuck ton of jobs that they can pull from, and
hmm
she is admittedly a good WTF choice that nobody would see coming.
Right, right.
The
I just
only
say that they cut Helga. It's like really,
yeah,
but still, yeah,
yeah, like you want to add them, that's less of a problem, but cutting
right,
Helga to do it just felt weird.
right. Powdered
And
Toast Man
actually,
is
I think
still
he got
there.
is he? I thought he got cut.
Was he? Okay, well,
I'm
oh,
like
okay.
60% sure he's cut. But then they also cut the two Ninja Turtles to add the other two Ninja Turtles.
Just have all four of them. Just do it.
What the
Just
fuck?
do it.
What the fuck?
Yeah, yeah.
I just
Nonsense.
wait.
I mean, let alone. I mean, it. it apparently, I think if we played it, we'd run into the exact same Wi-Fi issues we did when trying to play the first one on PC
Yeah.
together. And the Switch, the Switch build is apparently heinous, and so I'm not trying it there. Right?
Oh, is this Mortal Kombat levels of bad?
It's no, but it's close. It's scored pretty poorly. Like I was reading a website that I reliably, go to for game reviews on the Switch quite often, and I'll just say it's Nintendo Life, and they very commonly I over score some games, especially Nintendo published. But they gave Nicktoons 2 like a 4 out of 10 for the playability.
Yeah.
So I said,
I mean, I
crikey.
like some of the new characters they added in.
Hmm.
Having Plankton pilot a giant mecha of himself is
It's great.
inspired.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
that's
awesome.
good shit. But then they cut
Hmm.
Shredder and add Rocksteady.
What the fuck? Why?
What? What?
I mean, apparently
They
on
cut
Steam, it's
they cut
yeah,
Toph. They cut Toph. And you know it's fine adding Azula. That's valid. But two of the DLC characters are Zuko and Iroh.
yeah, yeah,
What what why three firebenders?
yeah. Agreed. Cutting Toph is a choice as well. I mean,
It's a bad choice.
that's pretty like the most popular character, like probably the most popular character
Yeah.
all of Avatar. You're like, oh, see ya. Like what? Apparently it reviewed fine on PS5 and shit. Oh, the Switch version actually scored higher on average than PS5.
I mean
So
that's
overall,
because
it's not.
PS5 has
Yeah,
better games.
that's true. Wait, what?
What?
uh, I wouldn't. Maybe ultimately at the end of its life cycle, it may. But let's see here. But Smash Brothers, all the same. Mm,
All the
vote.
same, 9 volt or Mona. I'm gonna vote 9 volt unless you are going Mona and can convince me otherwise.
It's been difficult, trying not to get secondhand bias here, knowing how strongly you feel about this about 9 volt, as well as, Mona's not like a passion. I've long since championed her as the most logical second. Stand by that. Um, and I like the character. I think, there's a lot of pluses that she would bring to the table. She has a neat design, and would more directly represent WarioWare as a whole, and maybe start edging Wario back a little bit more would be interesting. And the variety of she would be a more grounded character, necessarily boring as a result of being a more grounded. There's enough there. There's enough personality there, and enough in the variety of the job throughout the series, and the other thing to do. There's it would be a fun, like, all around type character.
Yeah.
It would be I would I wouldn't hate it. I would rather like it. Like my outlook on Mona is overwhelmingly positive. If I were to list out the top 50 characters I wanted in Smash from a first party, should be in like the top 30, which I guess is saying something. Um and 9 volt is much more of a insular idea. He encapsulates a very specific corner of WarioWare, encapsulates a very specific corner of Nintendo history. You could argue including him, more. It's much more retroactive. It encompasses more of Nintendo's history in a single character than any other retro inclusion could. At the same time, um, you could easily say that is true, but we X retro character still hasn't made it in. It's like, it's really dependent on your personal view with 9 volt. Um, and I think I will vote 9. slightly surprised myself, but in a game like this where you're not thinking on the rationale, like if this were roster redux, it would absolutely, you know, but here the character that like there's something about the character and the concept. Not even 9 Volt as a character himself does not excite me more than Mona as a character herself. But the moveset variety here and all of the callbacks that you can make to is an inspiring thing. It's exciting and fun, and he has a skateboard and a yellow helmet.
That he
So I will
does.
vote for 9 Volt. And for the first time this season in a Smash or Dash, we do not have a tiebreaker. The fan.
So sad.
And you may be like, oh, it's only the third Smash or Dash episode. That may be true, but that technically, I mean, that's 4 months in, so it's been a while. It's been a while.
I mean, when each type of episode releases on a 6-week schedule.
Yep, yep. So there we go. For the first time in a long time, there is no contention. Duster and 9 Volt are moving on.
All right. Well, with that, we've ran out of things to discuss from this episode. We've got our 5 Razor Shares done. We've got our 2 latest Smash Dash winners, Duster and 9 Volt. And next time, it's on topic. We got a guest coming because it's time to finish a commitment. The third and final Smash Brothers Hogwarts Sorting Hat Extravaganza is coming. Curb Walker will be back, and we will finish sorting characters into their Hogwarts houses. There will be some disagreements. I'm sure some people will be like, what the fuck, man? I recently had somebody reach out to me, actually, and say, you're wrong. Kirby is a Hufflepuff, not a Gryffindor. You're just wrong. It's like, all right. I respect your choice. I stand by my vote, but I respect your opinion. And anybody else that wants to share theirs is more than welcome to. We'd like to see people's responses.
Yeah.
Probably because we never get any, and we would like to see some.
Yes, respond today. The future of Torna and indeed all is in your hands.
The future of Torna and Olive is in your hands, is what I heard.
Close enough. That's an Azurta quote.
Ah, I thought you were gonna. I thought it was gonna be like I thought it started with an A. I was like, oh, is he saying Torna and Ionios? What? I don't know why he would pick those two, but sure, why not?
Torna and all rest, but yes,
Oh,
sure.
that makes a lot more sense.
Yes, it does.
Uh,
Yes, it does.
whoops. Especially since the second thing that I thought of wasn't Aris, it was Alchemoth. Torna and Alchemoth. Jesus Christ.
Wow. Okay.
On that note, goodbye.
On that note, these two Hufflepuffs are going to bed.
I am not a fucking Hufflepuff.